The COP30 climate summit began today in Brazil. Organizers are urging countries to commit to more ambitious climate action plans to advance the goals of the Paris Agreement. Environment Minister Julie de Bruijn will lead Canada's delegation. CBC News international climate correspondent Susan Ormiston joins me now live from Belém in Brazil. So Susan, what is COP30 trying to accomplish?
Well, it's trying to stay relevant. It's trying to come up with some action plans instead of making yet more pledges. That is the theme of this conference. The delegates here very aware that this is a very politically difficult time for climate change, with a climate denier in the White House, amongst other economic pressures and attention on wars. So at the official opening of COP30 this morning, we heard from the Brazilian president talking about misinformation about climate change and saying that it's time to confront it head on. Here he is.
Now it's the moment to impose a new defeat to the denialists. Without the Paris Agreement, the world would suffer with a catastrophic warming up of almost 5 degrees till the end of this century. So we're moving to the right direction, but at the wrong speed.
Yeah, moving in the right direction, but not fast enough. We've heard that many times already. We also heard a lot about what is working, and that is renewable energy. Many countries seeing a surge in the use of renewables, and that's sort of one of the more positive messages coming out of COP30. The executive secretary of UN Climate Change spoke to that. Here he is.
This is the growth story of the 21st century, the economic transformation of our age. Those opting out or taking baby steps face stagnation and higher prices, while other economies surge ahead.
So that's a veiled reference to those who aren't here, including the United States. There are 47,000 delegates here in Belém, and about 195 countries are represented. Smaller than some of the other COPs, but not inconsequential. Yeah.
And Susan, how is Belém, a small city in the Amazon, dealing with the influx of tens of thousands of people?
You know, it's interesting. Being in an Amazonian city does have a different effect than Dubai or Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt in the past few years. People are getting a sense of the transition for countries and areas that are trying to bring themselves up economically, that are underdeveloped in many ways, not sort of the global north, as they call it in the language here. We saw that Belém was being challenged to have enough spaces for people to sleep. Hotel rooms couldn't fill everything. A lot of people have rented out their condos, and 2 cruise ships are in the river not too far from here, and people are actually staying on those cruise ships for the conference. The president himself is staying on a luxury yacht. Water is everywhere. This city is at the sort of apex of the Amazon waterway system, not on the actual river, but some of its tributaries. And a boat traveled all the way for 25 days from the Andes, from Ecuador and the Andes, to Belém, bringing a group of indigenous leaders. They want a greater voice in what happens in their territories, and they're going to come and have their impact here on COP30 as well.
Susan, thank you. That is CBC News international climate correspondent Susan Ormiston.